on. Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome. Friday night. We are here live at the Royse City Bulldog Stadium, and we have Friday night football tonight. We are starting off. I'm Chris Pena. I'm your host. I've got Mr. James Branch, who's co-hosting with me, and then the man in the middle is the man himself, Coach Petrov, the head football coach for the Royse City Bulldogs. Tonight, they welcome in North Forney for district game, the first district game of the year for the Bulldogs, and it's homecoming night. It's going to be a really packed night. It's a beautiful evening so far. Coach, thank you for joining us, and how you been?
We're good. You know, we had a week off last week and had an opportunity to get back to work and correct some things from the previous two games, and just roll our sleeves up and go to work.
Coach, you have I call it preseason. You have the 4 games. What are some positive things that you've learned about your team as you prepare for district tonight?
Well, we were able to make some corrections. Number one, we played a good team in Melissa, and then a very athletic, talented team in Arlington Bowie, and we learned a lot about ourselves. And anytime you can learn about yourselves and make corrections, you're going to be better for it. We played a little bit tougher schedule than we have in the past, and that was it was by design, and because we're in a tougher district. So, we learned about ourselves, and we need to come out here and show it tonight.
Yeah, James, I'm watching for football, so you don't have to worry.
You got my back.
Yeah, I got your back.
I'm big enough that I cover coach,
I'm
too.
Just,
if something
honestly,
goes down,
I'm just watching trajectory for the camera, because that's when you're going to see me dive over to make sure that we save the camera. Coach, as you welcome in North Forney tonight, it's a familiar opponent. They step up from 5A Division II along with you guys. You know them, but they do have a head coach who's only been there now. This is his second season, I believe, in Coach Eric Luster. What about this team? Has popped something on your screen, on your radar?
Well, you can tell Coach Luster's been there for a year now, and the way their kids play, they're organized. They do a great job, and they're 3-1 now. And so last year it was a struggle a little bit, if you will, for Coach Luster and North Forney, but they're rolling now, and they've got some talented kids. They got some very athletic kids that can go.
Yeah, James, I'll turn it to you for just a moment. This is a big night. Obviously, you got your Bulldog jersey on and you're ready to go. Can you just talk about tonight?
It's a big night, and I'm changing it up a little bit this week. I'm repping. I've got to rep the jersey. The last couple of shirts I didn't quite work out, so I'm changing it up this week. And I had my lunch today. So look. Tonight's the
right
night.
Place.
We're getting back on the track tonight. And I was talking to the guys. We do the Wednesday show, and I never really until this year understood the scheduling of the first 4 games. But then when we started doing it, I told the guys, I said, I think I got Coach figured out, because he started off with, Melissa's big and fast, and then, Bowie was not as big, but they were quick and they had talent. So I figured out all the 4 games that you wanted to give the boys a different look every single week.
Yes, absolutely.
Because we knew how talented this district was. So is that kind of what you're thinking was?
100%. I mean, we could have scheduled, like maybe we have in the past and some of the same teams, and we could have been 4-0 going into this game, and everybody be feeling great about themselves. But you don't have a real judge of yourself, who you really are. So it was by design. Rockwall and Heath are outstanding football teams, as well as Horn and Mesquite and Tyler Legacy, and they're very athletic, very talented, lots of speed. So we had to get some. Melissa has played deep in the playoffs, and I wanted that look, and I wanted a lot of speed too to show our kids. So we can prepare for district.
This season feels different to me, moving from 5A to 6A, and I don't really know why, other than we've added some stands. But to me, it feels to me like we're on a bigger stage. Can you talk a little bit about how it is different, and what you had to do differently, if anything, to take that step up to the 6A?
Well, it was more just establishing here we go.
That's football. There you go. That's football. We're right in the middle of it.
There we are.
It was more establishing a mindset of who we're playing, and then also knowing that it's still a football game. We're going to line up and play football. It doesn't matter who we're playing, whether it was the old district in 5A Division II or 6A. You still got to line up and play football, and then so does your opponent. But having said that, the focus, the work that you're putting in, you got to raise it up a little bit because there's no drop off. And even North Forney from last year to this year, they're a much better football team. And we've got our work cut out tonight. So every game's going to be that way. And maybe you didn't have that in the past. But
how do you think the guys feel? It's homecoming. The weather's starting to turn cooler. How do you think? Are you? I haven't been to any practices this week. But obviously I talked to a lot of the kids. I'm not hearing a lot of talk. I know what happened last week. So what's going on this week? What do you think? How's the attitude?
Well, I'm interested to get the kickoff and get going and see how they respond. It's been a tough 2 weeks, and then we kind of had to take a long look in the mirror and see where we're really at and what we're really about. And so we got back after it. We had to, make some changes, from both sides of the ball and what we're doing. And of course we have, we're dealing with injuries. Everybody deals with injuries, halfway through and throughout a football season. But right now we've got a few more injuries than we've had in the past. And that's just, that's part of the game. Some years it's that way. And so, I'm anxious to see how we respond tonight. I mean, it's been a good 2 weeks, and the kids have really put in some work.
What do you expect to see from North Forney tonight?
Well, they're going to run the zone, and they're going to try to run the ball, and they're going to try to grind. I think the quarterback may run a little bit more because this is a must-win game for them. And they're going to throw the ball deep to number 2 and number 17. I think they're going to try to test us out in the short game and make sure that we can make tackles. We spent a lot of time tackling over the last 2 weeks. From that aspect. And I think they're going to try to bring their defense. They're going to try to bring some guys off the edge. Melissa had some success with that, and we've worked on that this week. And I expect them to try to heat us up a little bit.
Yeah, we're talking with Coach Petrov. He's the head coach for the Roy City Bulldogs. Coach, you kind of brought it up a little bit about must wins. Is there an emphasis in that talk amongst the kids as far as the season really is short now, right? There's not a lot of games, so obviously every game's important. But do you use that language with the kids, or is that just something internally?
The kids, I don't put any more added pressure on them than we already do. We know the importance of this game, and so does North Forney. And not just because there's only 7 district ball games, but you've got some really quality teams up in front of you, and so you got to get the wins where you can.
Yeah.
What does Coach Petrov do to prepare for homecoming? Game. What does Coach Petrov do during the day?
We practice. We remind the kids that homecoming is not about you. Your job at homecoming is to go win a football game. If you win a football game, and I talked to the kids about this, if you win the football game, homecoming is a lot funner. The dance on Saturday night is a lot more enjoyable. So our job is to go win a football game.
Is there any yoga involved in Coach Petrov's pregame?
No, I don't do yoga. I try to get back going this week, and doing some stuff to get myself going and give me some energy. That way I can bring it to the field and to the kids. And so I had. The kids, we had to go back to work, and so did I. So,
Coach, what's it seems like this your football team has a lot of success when you start fast, and when you get going, it just seems like it's really hard to come back on you guys. Obviously you want to start fast. How much emphasis are we going to see aggressiveness maybe at the beginning of the game, things like that?
The coaches and we've talked, and it seems out of 4 ball games, the ones that we started fast, we jumped right out and we were fine. The ones that we started slow offensively, even though we got a few stops defensively, it just kind of we were just there. We want to start fast, but to be honest with you, I want to be a complete football team. That you don't have to start fast. You just keep playing, and then let the 4 quarters speak for themselves. Obviously, everybody loves to start fast. I would love to start fast and put 14-21 right off the bat. But more importantly, I want to be a complete football team and play 4 quarters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to take for us to get the win tonight? What do you? I mean,
well, we went back to the basics. Okay, so. You got to block and you got to tackle, right? And defensively, you got to get off blocks and you got to tackle, and that's going to be the key. Do we limit the big plays, and do we get off blocks and we make tackles? Do we gang tackle? Are we getting 11 guys to the football? You're a lot better tackler when you got 11 guys, on the ball. The other thing is offensively, we got to block better. We got to know our assignments. We got to execute our assignments, and we got to stay on our blocks. And when we do that, we have, the skill kids that can take the ball to the house and take care of everything else.
Yeah. We're talking with Coach Petrov, the head coach of the Roy City Bulldogs. Coach, before we let you go, I know you got a busy night. Some important questions. Do you have pregame rituals that you just kind of it's something that you make sure you do every time? I'm that way. Like I'm superstitious. I'm
not really superstitious. I like to be organized in that organization, the itinerary, all that thing, all the Thursday practice. It's all laid out. I post it in the locker rooms. I put it on every coach's desk. The schedule for today is all laid out by time and who's doing what. Once that's important to me. Once the organization is there, everything starts falling in place as long as everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for Coach?
I'm a mark for you, man. I love doing the Wednesdays to get up there and talk about the Bulldogs, and here I am. I love everything about it. I love the season. I appreciate you and what you guys are doing. And listen, you don't have to make a prediction, but I'm gonna predict the Bulldog victory tonight.
Well, come on, let's do it.
We're gonna get it.
Let's get it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're here for it, and it's gonna be a fun night. It's homecoming night. Obviously, we will cut our show at about 6:15 to make way for all of the homecoming festivities that'll be going on. But we wanted to come on and chat with Coach. Coach, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
James, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you and I will chat about tonight, and then, we'll get out of here so we can get ready for the homecoming festivities.
Let's go Bulldogs.
Go get a win, baby.
Don't worry about it. We'll be right back.
Shop the Rock at Rockwall Ford. Get rock bottom pricing on 500 new Fords, cars, trucks, SUVs. We got it all. Log online and get your rock bottom deals today. Visit us at I-30 exit 205.
Rockwallford.com. I'm the one. I'm the one. I'm a one-to-one. I could never be you. Low me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Low me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one. I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Drop my first single, let go, he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear them out. Bought a new Beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Handle my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Yeah, I could never borrow from no man. How you talking ownership and no land? I got my roll on, now rolling. I drive all my cars like they're stolen. You got on and put your homies out for ransom. I got on and put my homies on the program. Girls hit me in my DM tryna link up. I leave them on wreck and get a no jam. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. I'm a one. I'm a one. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Drop my first single, let go, he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear them out. Bought a new Beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Handle my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less.
All right, we're back. We're live here at Royce City Bulldog Stadium, and as you can see, the guys behind us are warming up. Fans are starting to pour in. It's homecoming night. It's a big night, but more importantly, it's game one of district, and it doesn't get any bigger because it just seems. Brandon, we were talking with Coach a minute ago, and it's such a short, quick season now because every week counts, and it's just going to come rapid. They've had their bye week, and so now it's just no time to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be week after week after week preparation and, making sure that we execute. I watched a lot of the football games outside, in our district, but outside of Royce City. And there's some teams that I feel like we can sneak up on. There's obviously Rockwall's a really good squad, and I feel like they're running really well right now, and they're going to power through a lot of people. But, I feel like we'll have a fighter's chance there, throwing a big hook. But I've watched Heath play a couple of ball games, and I feel like we can hang in there. So it'd be nice to see where we sit with Forney, and it'll kind of give us, I guess, the level that we're at because we'll see when they play someone else, and we'll kind of get a, feel for it. I know a lot of fans always think you can see stuff like that, though, by watching how somebody else beats somebody else. But sometimes it's just a matchup. Mm-hmm. And I think we're a tough matchup because we're a fairly physical defense.
Yeah, and this is not the North Forney team that they've faced in the past couple of years being in their district. Not many people thought they'd win many games at all, if one or two. They're 3-1. Horn didn't blow them out, So and again, that doesn't mean that they're matched up really close with Horn. It just means that, like you said, the matchups were probably favorable for them to be in a close game. That said, this team obviously is improved. And so, Royce City, it's going to be very important for them to start out fast tonight. And this is, by the way, need no introduction if you're a Royce City.
He didn't even introduce you, man.
Yeah. Brett, well, it's because it's like that's Brandon Neighbors. So, Brandon will be on the call for the stream, and we'll be up there, telling you guys what's going on. But you've seen a lot of district games. You've seen, a lot of Royce City games. Does anything about this feel different?
I mean, I know our coaches don't want to say anything is different, right? But anytime it's your district game, it's different. But it's week to week. It's win the play, win the day, win the week. And right now, it's Forney. So I've seen these guys play, though, too. I saw them live, and they've got some really good athletes. And the coaching staff over there is doing a really good job. I think it's a new coaching staff
it is.
From what I've seen.
Year two for Coach Lester.
And they're pretty physical as well. They're bringing kind of that tough physical side of the ball back, and I love that. I'm so excited about the game now. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's some guys to really look out for North Forney is number 55, Gustavo Rubio, the linebacker. He's just a really smart football player, and he's very physical. He's going to be one that you want to keep your eye on, as well as they brought a wide receiver in, Ernest Thomas, he transferred in from Rowlett. He's considered a 3-star, if that means really anything, but he is recruited. He does have D1 schools looking out for him. He's a wide receiver that you'll want to look out for.
I'd say 3-star means something. Somebody that was rated a 3-star sophomore, junior year, old Jackson Smith.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, why in the world is this kid rated a 3-star? That was the people that actually saw him. But obviously, by the time he left, I believe he was a 5-star. But a lot of times these rankings, you can put some weight on them, you can not. It's half 6 of one, half dozen of another, right? But at the end of the day, if you're being ranked, you've been seen by a few people, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, look, I said this on Wednesday night, and there's certain games, and that you got a circle on the schedule that you have to take care of business. You got to win the games you're supposed to win. You're supposed to play tough on the games that you're supposed to play tough on. This game, we have to win. We have to win this game to start the district. This is one that's circled, and this is a tough district. So, look, I think it's going to come down to the last game of the season to figure out that 3rd, 4th, 5th spot in this district, and Royce City is right there in that mix. But in order to get there, we got to take care of business tonight. And I hear a little bit of barking back there. They better bring it out on the field tonight because, listen, we can't have another last, 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I think I'm willing to bet this coach says, hey, listen, this is not the North Forney that we have been, like I said a minute ago. So I don't think they're going to take them lightly. But if you were circling like we did, we talked about it, I circled this one as a win. Tyler Legacy, looking at that looks, in Mesquite, those three look like games that, hey, you need to win those, and then you got the Heath, Rockwall, and Horn, who looks to be playing really well.
And I mean, people have asked me different questions this week about our record and the people that we've gotten beat by and things like that. And I obviously moved here from Rockwall. Rockwall's been beat a ton in the preseason, year after year after year. But that coaching staff over there is similar to this coaching staff in the preseason. I mean, would they like to win? Absolutely. But they're also going to try some things. They're going to run an offense the way they want to try to maybe run an offense in district. They might put some defensive sets out there, maybe things they want to use in district. But by the time they get to this game, they've really honed in on what their offensive game plan is and what they can do and what they can't, and the same thing on defense. And so I think tonight we should see the best Royce City.
Yeah, and to your point, Rockwall, kind of did that. They kind of went through their preseason. Now, they were without their starting quarterback for a couple of weeks, but overall, though, they came out and they just said, okay, this is what we're going to do now. We've been preparing. You look at this district, obviously Rockwall 1-0, you've got Horn 1-0, and then you've got North Forney, Mesquite 1, so they're 1-0. So you've got North Forney and Heath, who are are 0-1 early in the season. Right. There's still a lot to be played.
And here's the deal: if you're coming into your first district game still trying to figure it out, you're in trouble. You got to know. And here's what I like too: is I went to the North Forney Horn game last week, and one thing that I did like is the fact that I had the entire offensive line and the kicker and the DB sitting with me up there, and they had notepads and pens, brother. And they were taking notes at what North Forney was doing. So, you know what? We're going to see what kind of notes they took.
Yeah, no, I think they'll be prepared. I mean, I have that trust in Coach Petrov and this coaching staff and this team. Despite all the injuries, I think they're just going to, find a way to get it done. And that's really, everybody's battling some injuries. Some teams, like, Royce City, they've had, their share early on. Hopefully they can get healthy and some guys can step up and have a few games to get ready for it. But we'll find out tonight.
Well, not many teams can have their top defensive player go down early in the season and still be a really good defense. And Royce City, I feel like, had one of their top, defensive players go down early and have really just filled that void and moved on. And that's going to be the new Royce City. I know Rockwall's been able to do that for a while with all the numbers, but Royce City, the question always was, well, who's next? Are they as good as the one that's out there? And maybe in this specific situation I'm talking of, the next guy's not quite as good, but feels his role in doing your job, playing your position, protecting your brother. That's what this is about out there, and they're doing it right, and it's fun to watch.
I'm gonna put you on the spot because you have so much football knowledge. This North Forney team, this quarterback likes to get out and run. He likes to create things with his legs. If you're defending something like that, what's going to be a key for the Bulldogs to make sure that they control him running?
So there's a couple of ways. People in the stands always see the sacks that occur, and their assumption is, it's because of those great defensive players on the front, right? But at the end of the day, bringing guys from different spots is a big-time deal on the blitz, but also being not smoke and mirror. I don't want to call it smoke and mirror, but showing one thing and rolling into another is big. Defensive ends to this game, instead of shooting hard upfield and creating a potential opening between the C gap and the inside leverage, when you create that type of opening, this guy's going to scat up inside and go. He's a right-handed quarterback. Most right-handed quarterbacks don't like to be flushed to their left. So I would say the strong side defensive end is going to set the edge and push him back. But the backside defensive end might take a few chances and try to blindside him and get a few hits. So,
yeah.
To me, you have to mix it up. You got to do some different things. You might see a corner blitz tonight. You might see a linebacker lined up like he's in bump and run on a slot, but then he's gone on the blitz. You got to do some things from the backside the quarterback's not expecting, and hope for interceptions, any type of turnover, a sack, fumble. Those types of things are what's going to change the game for us.
I think a very important part of this defense tonight is going to be the linebacker play. Your two outside linebackers, your defensive ends, of course, like you just said, but I think those outside linebackers have to be ready, and they have to stay home. That inside linebacker has to stay home and watch, because they've got some big guys on the front, and they're going to try to open up some holes and turn those defensive players. We only play a 3-man front, so they're going to double team Punceva. You know, so we've got that inside linebacker has to stay home and watch for that run.
Well, the good news is, from the running game perspective, you have to have a boot cut reverse man. You got to have somebody that's on the backside that's ready for the boot option, ready for the cutback option, and your outside guy ready for the reverse option, right? But also in the passing game, if we're running a basic zone, which it seems like we have a lot of different zone coverages, they're really unique zone coverages. But at the end of the day, in a zone, that backside backer better be ready when that quarterback flushes out, because he's still going to have contain and flushing back in to help.
And he's a big, tall guy. He can see over that line. So he's going to be looking at that field, and he's got a big, tall receiver too, and they swap sides. So he's going to be all over the place. But you know what? I watched him play. If we can get a little pressure on him and we can get hands on number 2, we can shake them up and get them off their game. And that's what we have to do. We got to get them off their game.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I mean, you got to rattle in the quarterback seems to always work in whatever game. But I'm always interested to see a team that loves to have their quarterback just do everything with their legs. And the stats aren't going to pop out with them as far as passing and all these numbers. They're going to grind it out and just try to chew some yards away.
It's also risky. I mean, one thing goes wrong, just like Lake Bennett at Rockwall. One thing goes wrong, and it shuts down your offense. So you're risking a lot of play on one guy. And if you attack that guy and are super physical with him, I mean, the kids get sore. They get beat up just by accident, right? It's a game of football.
We're talking with Brandon Neighbors, who obviously is very involved with Roy City. He's got kids that still here in Roy City. He's got one who's doing great things at K-State. He's also doing good things academically. I saw your little post. Congratulations.
Big 12 rookie player of the year, so that was pretty cool.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We can't say enough about Tyson and how great he is and what a role model he is for a lot of Bulldogs that are trying to do it the right way. Brandon, before we let you go, before we step out of the way for all the homecoming festivities, I had a good time over at Bullitt, and those kids were great. We've actually been asked to go to a game tomorrow in Garland. I haven't asked my wife yet, so I don't know if that's – I was very honest with the guy that sent me a message. I said, I'm going to have to ask my wife. I was like, I don't know promises. But
what grade level?
They're playing at Naaman Forest tomorrow.
Yeah, we are too. The 12 U's at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock.
That's us.
Okay, yeah. So it's 2 o'clock. Yeah, they. I was going to let you plug some Bullet stuff. How's that going? How's the season going?
I mean, it's going good. At the end of the day, there's really not another place to play middle school football around here, and we've really focused on trying to make sure that the kids are safe throughout the week. They're playing middle school football games, so during our week practices, we don't do any physical contact, no tackling, nothing like that. Do a lot of technique, a lot of mindset, a lot of video watching, stuff like that. They do play an extra game on Saturday, but it's been fun times. We've taken some undersized kids that don't necessarily fit the prescription for Saturday football in select league, and haven't been beat yet. So let's knock on wood and hope for the best.
It's a really cool James, I don't know if you know a lot about it, but it's what they do in Rowlett. The coaches there, they seem very committed. I got to sit down with a bunch of kids. It's a great program over there. So I just wanted to really quickly give a shout out to them.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm looking forward to tonight, man. I expect us at halftime to come on here and be fired up.
Yes, sir.
I fully expect that. And this whole week's been awfully quiet, man. And when it's quiet, I don't know. That can't be good. So
can be good for somebody.
It can't be good for somebody.
And hopefully it's for the guys over there in white, it's not going to be a good night.
You got that right, man. You got that. We're going to come out and lay some wood tonight.
Well, let's hope. This show brought to you by Vice and Henley attorneys and counselors at law. We appreciate everything they're doing to help us bring this pregame to you and a halftime show. Brandon will be up. I'll be up. Is there anybody else going up tonight?
I believe that Tanksley will be up there tonight as well. Tanksley went down with an arm injury, but Dad's still going to be here and is going to help call the game. So.
Okay, perfect. All right, yeah. Any final thoughts, James? I know you're fired up. You got your Bulldog jersey on. You're ready to go.
Hey, man, I'm not as fired up as I was the first game because this is serious business tonight, okay? We're coming in here, and we're going to knock some heads. Halftime, we'll get a little bit of lip, but we want all that smoke tonight. You hear me?
Hey,
we want all the smoke.
They're going to need a gas mask for all that
You
smoke.
got that right, brother. Let's go. Let's go, Bulldogs.
Yeah, but let's go Bulldogs. And Brandon's going to be up. He's going to. What do you say? You're going to bring that live? What do you say?
No, we bring all that live action, that Turtle Man style.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, listen, you guys out there, we're going to be watching this streaming. Enjoy the night. Cheer on. We appreciate all the support and everybody that tuned in to watch tonight. Good luck to the Bulldogs, Coach Petrov. We appreciate you coming on tonight. It's going to be a fun night, and hopefully these Bulldogs are up for the task. And I feel like it's going to be one of those games that goes into that fourth quarter.
We're going to have fun tonight, and hopefully we can put it away before then. But I think you're right. We're gonna have to bang on them a little bit and get them out of their element.
Yep. All right. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate it again. We will catch up with you at halftime, and we're going to bring you some of our thoughts and some of the analysis and what we think needs to happen in that second half. I mean, maybe it's like a game that I'm not going to mention the teams. That's not what I'm here for. But maybe it's a blowout at halftime, and we can just kind of relax and have a good time.
Let's hope so, man. That's what we're hoping for.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Chris Pena, Rockwall County Game Day, Brandon Neighbors, James Branch. Guys, it's almost game time. We got 39 minutes.
Let's go, Bulldogs.
Have a good night.